Hi class, I wanted to give you some video feedback. I'm going to look at these as a first-time site visitor, pointing out some of the things maybe that were missed or what's working, but mainly looking at it as if I'm coming to your site for the first time, even though I've looked at them. And we want to make sure that we're hitting all the items that are on the checklist. If I miss one of those, you're still responsible for that checklist. So be sure to review that. It also helps to review everybody in this particular video, look at everyone's, in case there's something that will apply to yours as well. So it's sort of like a lecture as well as feedback. All right, Jacob. Nice and clean. I see you removed all the placeholders. That's great. Let's put your skill. I know tagline can be confusing because it can mean two things, but what we want here is just to have your skill. So when someone lands on this page, they know exactly what it is. Content that moves brands forward, that could be advertising. It could be a lot of different things. So we want your skill. If it's cinematography, we want that, okay? We want to remove anything that isn't content, right? So the coming soon comes out. And make sure this is not your actual address, okay, or phone number. If that's a free Google Voice, great, let me know. And you'll link all these up. This particular template comes with a really hard to read paragraph font. So I recommend choosing something that is a little easier to read, maybe something like this, which is Avener. Okay, that's 13 points, but it's all caps. So you're going to want something at least 16 to 18 points. This is 14, so probably 16, 16, 18 for your paragraph font here. Okay. Let's see. Check all your buttons. Good. Let's make this a little smaller so we're not scrolling so much. And again, you're going to, the white on black is good. You're going to make it the same font that you choose for your other paragraph font. And close this up a little bit. You'll bring that in, this whole column in a little bit. All right, so it's not cropping anywhere. And you're closer here. We'll see how that looks when we get to your mobile. Again, it's just this font is, comes with the template, but it's tough. Let's see. Your contact, you're going to move to the end. Okay. We want to know, we can take this search off. We just have one here. So take the search off. And yeah. Okay. And we need a little bit about this. We need to have content added, descriptions. Whether that means making this smaller and adding a column, or if you're able to add a collapsible. You can add a collapsible paragraph, but you really can't, it can't change when you go through your carousel. It's still going to be there with the same content. So you need to definitely tell us what's going on here with your asset guide. Okay. All right. So here, good. This is good what you have here. Okay. Okay, so the concern then is this, and it really shouldn't be on your contact page. All right, that would be, if this is yours, it's going to be on your portfolio page. Move your contact over here. Make sure your contact has the, okay, so here's a thing. We need to have your navigation on this. Okay, so that I don't have to click back to get to your main navigation. That's going to be over here. And it's going to have, okay, so you're going to keep this. You're just going to raise all of this and move that. All right. All right, so for your video, it works if you choose to put this someplace else. That will set up nicely. You probably want to raise this, and you're going to change that. Probably going to bring this content up a little bit. This works better here with this framing than the vertical. Okay, this comes out. That's template. Button is removed to close that space. Okay. Make sure that you have a cover image that isn't cropped, doesn't have text cropped. And that there's no overlapping of text, and that you use capital I's, and the same amount of vertical spacing between all of your work. Okay. Close that. We don't need to make all of this clickable. All right, just your email. All right, and you're going to make sure that you are consistent with your uppercase and lowercase. All right. So you've got a great start. You have the work that you need to put in there, just a few over, changes globally that will make a big difference. All right, good job. Okay, John. This, again, the contact goes to the last. You just drag it when you're over in your Wix pages and menu. You're going to drag it down below the about, and that will move it. Okay. All right, so let's see. Got a lot of headroom here. The shape of the frame is good, but you just have a lot of headroom there. Again, make sure that's a Google Voice and that this is not your address. Okay. So let's see how things are linking. If you're going to have your heading say portfolio, have it portfolio up here as well, so it matches. It's going to be over here. You're going to take this off. That's template. And yeah, this is where your about content should be, and not this, which feels like AI. So what you've done here is you have a one page, but it's not. What you have to do is create navigation at the top that links to each of these strips. So you need to link your about. When I select it, it has to link right here. Right here. At the top, there'll be a anchor. It's a line that goes all the way across. It has an anchor, and you will need to link that anchor to the about. You can look at the troubleshooting video that'll be posted this week, and it'll tell you how to do that. The easiest way to do it, I think I mentioned this in your feedback earlier, take this content and replace this with your content, and then it will be automatically linked up, and you don't have to do anything about that. Then you'll only have your works on this page. This might be the footer. Okay, it is for that page. So that's what you want to do. You want to move all that and put it to where it's supposed to be, and take off the one that appears AI and doesn't look relevant to your work. All right, let's see about the mobile. Okay, so a word about this logo. It's not super clear as far as the resolution, and that's really important. You wouldn't, it looks like it's been photographed on paper. Maybe you have a background, texture you've put there, but it's not working yet, and you're cropping off the lettering down here. So what I recommend is that you take this, which I kind of like, and you go into Illustrator. You could do it in Photoshop, but Illustrator, if you make it a vector, you'll be able to scale it at any size and it'll be sharp. So I would take this background out and just keep this, which will look really great on the black. And you already have, let's see, so the John Squared Productions digital creator. We're getting a little out of this, it's getting to get a little vague here, okay, for what you do. So we want to be really clear about that. Also, filmmaker is one word. So we need to know, here you have director, writer, producer, editor, director, writer, producer, editor. Okay. Documentary. You could say digital filmmaker if you want, but we just need to narrow this down a little bit. Yeah, you could make this smaller, and that might be all right. Make that one word and make this smaller than your name. That might be okay, but it's, I can see by your work what you're doing, so that's great. You're doing all these things. We just want to make sure when someone lands on your page, they know exactly what you're doing. Okay. Okay. So, all right. So, and then John Squared Productions, that's kind of, that could be in your about. All right. That can be that, but not this. Yeah, and that's where you're going to go into more of that. But you could have the logo. But again, that's going to get pretty long and busy. In some ways, because you have a long name. But yeah, we want to tighten that up. And this would actually be a photo of you. So you're going to take this off. This is totally different. You may be saying that that's a digital creator image, but that would be a different website. Okay, so you want to be very careful when people land to our site that they know that they can identify you with a skill, not multiple skills. You can mention multiple skills in your about. You can write about it, but a little bit, but don't confuse them, or they won't associate us with any skill. And that's really what they're looking for. They're looking for usually a specific skill once you get into the serious clients. All right, let's move on. It's got some great things to it. I want to say this is definitely AI because I've created things like that myself with like a cut paper look. And I like it. It's a great image. And the coloring is really good. And you've got just what you do up here, and that's perfect. And you've got everything in the right order. So far, and because I'm buying this as a lion, I'm going to say that's okay as a welcome page. There's something about it that makes it seem like there's a lot of empty space over here. It could be that this needs to go over just a little. I don't know. We'll see how it looks on your mobile. And yeah, I also want to see this as a circle. And I don't usually say that, but because it's a circle, and it would be hard for you to fit it in perfectly, but I'd like to see it as a circle. In addition, I think you should have that in your back pocket and then see, okay? See what you think about that. All right, let's jump in. Okay. Yeah, I see this quite a bit. The coloring's great. The lighting's great here. That's awesome. And while I can read this, it's not easy to read. And we need some punctuation there, period here. This needs to be upper lowercase. And here you're using Arial and Alvarito, which you're using here too. And this is a serif, but you do definitely need upper lowercase here. Just too hard to read. All right. I can see you like to design, and that's great, but tough to read. Let's see. Okay. Love this. Check the spelling on this. Okay. See if you can bring this line up here. And bring that up a bit there. This, I'm not sure what it goes to. It goes here. So where you have this underneath and you have this, I would, as much as I like it, I would bring this up here and put that underneath it. Okay. You can still keep some decent spacing there, but that's what I would do. And then you're going to want to make sure that it's not too random. You want to go here, here, then you could go back over here. But I would bring this down, It's kind of floating by itself. Nice. Kind of balance. Might need a little more space. You've got two different things going on. I mean, maybe it's something as simple as a rule and then you organize underneath that, but you've got two different styles of organization going on. I don't mind this upper lowercase with this so much. I wouldn't think of it as paragraph text. So that doesn't bother me as much. Let's not underline that. It makes me feel like it's clickable. You could bold it, you know, somehow more if you needed to. I'm not sure. Okay, that wouldn't be down here. Okay, you have that here. I'm going to let you work that out because I trust your judgment, but you know, we need a little bit of more consistency. I do love this. If you had more thumbnails like that, in that shade, that color theme, that would be great for all of your things. That just a different kind of image that relates to what you're doing. I mean, this is okay, that's real. That relates to what you're doing, but uses that color palette. And that would be okay for AI because you've got your work and you're showing all of that. But it'd be okay to create a poster for a thumbnail to introduce what you're doing. That would be an okay use for AI as a branding there to be consistent. I have to be very careful about that because students take a lot of liberties with AI and they're not producing something that they can get a job in. You know, maybe last year we thought that prompt writing was a job, but it isn't now. Anybody can write prompts, right? So anyway, I'm not worried about that with you. Okay, because you've got the work that you're showing. Definitely link these up and make sure that's clickable. Looks like it is. Might want to align that. But so far, really tight, really great. Okay, let's look at the mobile. Yeah. Gonna upper lowercase that. That goes with that. Okay. I don't think you need to put your name here. We do want to know what you did. Here's the title. Here's what you did. Here's a little more about it. Here I want to see a smaller size. And yeah, I want to see a smaller size font here, especially if we're going to keep it all caps there. It's going to go here, a little smaller. Documentaries, short films. So this is going to go right under your short films, just like you have the header here. And then you're going to have your description underneath it. And, you know, check all of those. Love that image. Okay, so close that up for sure. Okay, center that or left align it. Don't think you need to say social media here. You can just put it underneath there probably. Or you can bring that up here. That looks like there's a space right there. Okay, close that if it's there. All right, great job, great job. Okay. All right. All right, I'm excited to see what everybody's been doing. This class is really dedicated. All right, so Kai, great stuff. This is yours. Make sure there's space here if you're going to use this, and make sure that it's got enough contrast. If that's what you're going to say, just make sure it's legible, and equal padding all the way around on that button. Okay. Enter. You have your logo, good. Underwater cinematographer, amazing. That. And we talked about naming your works there. Let's see. Videos do slow our work down. Keep that in mind. I like that this is the width that it is, but I think we've got a little much on the letter tracking, the space there. The kerning may need to tighten up a little bit. Okay, doesn't feel like it's happening as much here. Yeah, the kerning between the letters, it's a little wide. Let's try not to underline all of that. Just make this link. Remove the placeholder number there. Okay, good. Terrific. We get into the content example and then about it. Great. The bio, fantastic. I can read this. Great background. It's reduced just where it needs to be. It tells us exactly what you're doing. It doesn't look AI. Hope it isn't. I don't think it is. And if it is, you've used it properly, but I don't think it is. I think this is yours. So terrific. All good. You have underwater, and this is aerial. I know you do both, I think, but okay, so let's check out what we did here. Nice. Yeah, let's remove the underlining there. A little more space under there. Well done. I love how you have your title there. Terrific job here. Carrying your brand over. Nice. Okay. Nice. Woo. Okay, so this is some of your aerial.
Stay moving. Out here, it's all about pure flow. Every wave is a new chance to get it right. You just because in the end, out here, it's all about playing in the moment. No charts, no plan, just pure flow.
Okay.
Every wave is a new chance.
Okay, we want to make sure that the user has the option to play or not. So we want to make sure that they're not set to automatically play. I would say the audio, because I do want to see this playing. But I would really set that audio back a lot and let them control that, because we never know where somebody is when they're looking at our work, and they want to be able to adjust that. Unless you can keep it really, really low, which is fine. But we definitely want our focus on this rather than the audio, in my opinion. You know, some, it's fine. A little more about the content here. Maybe where you were, where they were found, where you were filming. Okay. I think that would be of value. I would want to know that. Okay, other work, that's a link. Okay. Remember, those things slow your site down. You want to keep all your video for you. Now this, maybe you did shoot this, but okay. All right. Here's the thing about it. It's awesome. But, and it's fine here. A little more about it, where you are. But I do think still good. A little more space here. Awesome. Love these. And you don't have duplicates, so that's awesome. But here's the thing. Even though I believe you shot this, I'd rather see your underwater there, because that's where we're kind of focusing. Okay. When we come into your site, we have this, and it sets a certain pace. That's kind of a slow rhythm. We go here. I get the feeling we're going underwater. And here, right? And so those are my first pages that I'm going to look at. And then when I go here, I'm pulled out, and I'd rather this, even though it looks great, I would rather that this be one of your underwater scenes. I think that would tie together really well. All right. And the color, the blues and things. Okay. But it's amazing. And I know you had a lot of content to try and organize, right? But you've got some great stuff. All right. All right. So let's look at the mobile. Okay. That could probably go bigger. I hope you have that in a light blue also. I mean, you know, this does sell you very well. Let's work on that. I'm not sure about that being an overlay of text in this situation. You might want it to crop this a little and put it below or above. Kind of want to see this reduced to not 4 stacked lines. I'll let you decide how to do that. And that particular font, we want to only have 2 fonts, ideally. Your header and your paragraph, your heading and your paragraph text. This is a little big too. You might want it to be in that color. We talked about that. Would probably say the US instead of that much. Now here's a place where you might want to use the read more so that we can have a little more focus on your work and a little less, maybe just 2 lines of text, and then a read more button that isn't big, maybe the same font, and a lighter, maybe a gray, so it's kind of backs off a little. Okay. So changes that you make in your desktop will flow over to your mobile, but the changes you make in your mobile won't show up in your desktop, so that's all good. This might go up a little higher. I know. Okay. All right. Nice work. Great work. Love watching all of this. And you're just doing a great job. I can see that you're putting time into it and trying to organize all your variety of work. So kudos to you. It's just looking great. I'm excited to see you. You know, you've got practically 2 weeks left. So that's a lot for you. So good job. And I'm looking forward to seeing where you are next week.